John chapter 10, verse 11 and 14. Jesus the Good Shepherd. How is Jesus the Good Shepherd? It uses the word kalos in the Greek, and kalos doesn't mean good in the sense of benevolent or nice. It means good in the sense of real, genuine, the real thing, the true article. And he's real in the sense he's distinguished from robbers who are just interested in flesh and fleece, just interested in making money out of the sheep, and also from hirelings who are just considering it a job for which they get money. And there have been many nominal shepherds in the past, corrupt kings, false prophets, hireling priests. And so Jesus said, all that came before me were thieves and robbers. Because whether you're the genuine article or not is tested by danger. How much danger will you go through for the sheep? And hirelings will move away, paid workers won't. It's more than my job's worth. So they will move away from care of the sheep, because the cause of the sheep is not their cause. And so Jesus is saying, I am the reverse of that. I am the real shepherd. And the real shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. And the cause of the sheep is my cause. So I've got to hear that. I've got to hear that with my heart, that the cause of humanity was the cause of Christ. He didn't do a hireling's work. He got no pay except tears and blood and a crown of thorns. And when they said to him, he saved others, why can't he save himself? Of course he couldn't save himself, because his whole purpose and being was to save others. That was the cause of the sheep for which he'd come. So how does he prove that? How does he prove that he's the good shepherd? Because of what he is, because of what he knows, and because of what he does. I know my sheep, I am known of them, and I lay down my life for the sheep. So he knows them, he says, as the Father knows me, so I know them. In other words, he reads them. He reads them. He knows them unerringly. He reads their heart. So how is that done? Now it's too easy, and it's not quite the point right here to say, well, it's because Jesus was God. Notice he says that the sheep know him as truly as he the sheep. He knew men on the same principle on which we know people, the same on which we know him. The difference is in degree, but not in kind. He knows with more precision than we do, but the knowledge is same in kind. So what does that mean? How does he know us? I believe we truly know each other when we love. And he truly knew us because he loved us truly, loved us completely. So there's a kind of a gut instinct about Jesus. It says he knew what was in men. He knew what was in their hearts. That was a reason why he didn't trust himself to them. Because he also read cruelty and darkness. You sense things in other people, don't you? But when you love, you become attuned to their thoughts and feelings. You're with them. He knew what was in people, so he didn't trust himself to them. Do you remember that bit where it says, Jesus, perceiving that they were going to try and make him king by force, withdrew by himself? It's because he knew what was in people. He read through them. You know when you say somebody is like an open book, you can read them like an open book. When he looked at the Pharisees, he read with that kind of gut instinct their religiousness, their arrogance. He read their superiority. He read the way they looked down and trod down other people, weaker intellects. He recoiled from it. It disgusted him, you might even say. He shuddered with a revulsion to what he read in people. And then at the same time, he loved people. He takes the hold of the hand of the woman caught in the act of adultery. Where are they that accuse you? He read what was in people. My sheep know me and I know them. It's powerful, isn't it? And his sheep know him. So it's really like dogs standing by their master and attuned to the master's voice, knowing what he's going to do. Or it's like babies in a creche turning when their mother comes in the room. They hear the sound of their mother's voice and they turn towards it. Because God has set eternity in the heart of man. And so there's something in me, something in you that responds to the voice of eternity, to the voice of the Master saying, Ken, or whatever your name happens to be, calling to you. You respond because my sheep hear my voice and they know me. So the wise people of the day, they wanted proof. They wanted to see his credentials. They want to say, well, isn't this just the carpenter's son? They wanted to downgrade and say, well, show us your credentials. You're not even ordained. You're not even a Pharisee. Who do you think you are? But the common people heard him gladly, heard him joyfully. And they already knew who he was. Whether this man be a sinner or not, John chapter 9, I don't know, but one thing I do know, once I was blind, and now I can see. And then Jesus speaks to him and he says, who is this Son of Man that I might believe in him? And he says, I who speak to you am he. Master, I believe. And that's the response of the sheep to the true shepherd. Isn't it wonderful? Do you hear that voice? God bless you today.